destiny.
Every time it's on everything, the life you chasing, I'm cheddering. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gon' stop till I rest in peace and they put some hold on my grave lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200 every time. Know what I'ma run from, I'm that one opponent you don't want none from. Manual van where my strength get pumped from. So what's the lie to a child of God? Standing toe to toe, no hiding now. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock, I got the sauce, you want mine to hide. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength is having, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game, so speed like the A train. The thing that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. All by myself, I don't gang bang. When you wanna get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that I would chase them.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose hope. 'Cause I'm still stalking my destiny. I'm still stalking my destiny.
Good afternoon, BFam1096.com. What up, Facebook? How y'all doing? YouTube. This is Tea Time with Tarah, live and on air. I am your host, Tarah M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Y'all, if you haven't already, head over to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I go live or post a new video. Also, be sure to check out my new episodes of the Tea Time with Tarah show, where I interview guests and ask them what they need on their journey to stalking their destiny. I recently uploaded a new episode there, so go ahead and check that out today and share it with somebody. Also, if you haven't seen the show, check out some of my old shows live and on air and share that with somebody who may need encouragement or just may enjoy the show. Again, this is Tea Time with Tarah, live and on air. I am your host, Tarah M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Also, here we believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. So we're going to get right into it. Thank you for coming back again, y'all, joining me live every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do me a favor, if you can, let me know where you're tuning in from today. Let me know how you're doing. I think I always ask y'all that. I want to know how you're doing because it's been a whole week, right? So let me know in the chat box and the comments below where you're tuning in from and how are you doing. Now, I hope, as every Monday, I hope you have your favorite drinks today. I did not bring anything to drink today because I had a cup of tea about an hour ago. So I hope that you have your favorite drink. I hope you brought your Bible. I hope you have your pen and paper in case you do want to take notes or something resonates with you that you want to go back on. And I hope that you just came ready to receive today. I'm ready. I was ready last week for you all, but I had an emergency, so we couldn't go live. And so I'm ready and prepared today for the show for you. So again, comment below, let me know where you're tuning in from, and let me know how are you doing today? How was your last week? Okay. I'm going to go forward with it though. Let's go right into the affirmations for this week, which are sponsored by Tea Time they're sponsored by Tea Time Enterprises, LLC. The world needs all you have to offer. Our affirmations are I am, I have, and I will. Okay. So if you're going to put your affirmations in the chat box or in the comments, let me know your I am statement, your I have statement, your I will statement, and then we're going to declare what kind of day or week we're going to have. Okay. And so, the affirmations I wrote for today are I am light and love. I have prepared for a win. Okay. I've done the work. I've prepared for a win. Okay. I will reap a harvest in this season. And today will be a magical day. Now it's interesting because I wrote these last week, y'all. And affirmations don't really expire. Okay. You can affirm the same thing until you actually feel that way. Like, I am light and love. I walk in that daily. So be sure that when you write your affirmations that you are encouraging yourself. Be sure that it resonates with you, and be sure that not only are you just being a realist and just saying, how you feel, but that you also state, if it's a negative way that you feel, be sure to state how you want to feel as well. Because you're affirming these things. So we don't want to affirm the negative. We can state the negative while affirming the positive, or the optimism on the other side of that. Okay. So again, my affirmations for today are: I am light and love. I am prepared for a win. I will reap a harvest in this season, and today will be a magical day. I think that today being a magical day, because like I said, I wrote these last week for the show for last week. Okay. And today being a magical day, y'all, do you believe in magic? And I don't even mean magic like a magician. I mean magic like the beauty of a day, something so beautiful it seems magical. And that can be something tangible or intangible. And so I do hope that your week and your day is magical as well. Something that you can not only hold in your hands or recall with your mind, but something that you can feel in your heart. That today be magical. And sometimes I just heard myself say this to myself: let it be magical. Okay. We can experience good things sometimes and we can stop it from being a good thing. So let it be good, let it be well. And if you feel that something magical is happening, let it be magical. Let it be magical, because you can't run back to that moment. And so let it be while you're in the moment. Remain present in the present so that you can receive the present of the present moment. Okay. Um, and so those are my affirmations, y'all. Let me know your affirmations in the comments below or in the chat box if you're listening online. Let me know those things. Our food for thought quote for today, y'all. I'm gonna keep it going because I don't know how this topic, y'all know this business topic of the week sometimes get away from me. I don't know how it's gonna go today, so I'm gonna keep the show flowing forward because I don't know what's ahead for that business topic of the week in a few. So our food for thought quote today is brought to you by Stalk Your Destiny, where everything you want to become, you already are. Okay. Everything you want to become, you already are. And so our food for thought quote says this: all in all, here I am on this merry-go-round that I keep saying yes to being on, knowing my time here has come to an end. I'm gonna read that again because it's fully loaded, y'all. It is fully loaded today. Let me see. Hi, Sheila. She says, "Hey, girl, I'm a little under the weather today. Listening from bed in Germany." Thank you so much, Sheila. You tune in just about every week, so thank you, and I do hope you feel better soon. Shout out to Germany. Let me know where y'all listening in from too. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Okay. But our food for thought quote says, all in all, here I am on this merry-go-round that I keep saying yes to being on, knowing my time here has come to an end. Now, I'm talking about getting to the business topic of the week and forgot that the food for thought was fully loaded. Okay. And so how many times have you been on a merry-go-round in your own life where you keep saying yes to something, and you keep allowing something that that it's not going anywhere. I think that sometimes we entertain things for seasons because we don't know when that season is going to change. And right now, there's not a problem with that thing, but we also know it's not moving forward, right? So here you are again on this merry-go-round. And you keep saying yes to being on the merry-go-round, right? You keep saying yes to the same type of things, like whether you are at work, whether this is at home in your household, your marriage, and your parenting style, or whatever it is, something that's not working for you, right? And it may not be bad, y'all. This is the thing. It may not be bad. It may not be negative. It's just not working for you, or it's just not moving forward. And also, it could just not be going in the direction you want to go. But you keep allowing it. You keep giving it another chance. You keep opening the door for it. You just keep saying yes. You keep going with the flow for it, right? Um, Merry-go-rounds don't stop for you to get off. Okay? A merry-go-round doesn't stop. You have to jump off of a merry-go-round. And then, as kids, for those of us who remember childhood where we played outside at the park and everything, um, for a merry-go-round, if it's already going, you have to jump on it, right, to get on. And yes, it's exciting, but it is dangerous. It is reckless. Okay. And then you have to hold on for dear life. We're literally running to jump onto something that we have to hold on with our life so that we don't fall off of it. Why are we holding so tightly to what's not working? Why are we still entering spaces we don't thrive in? And I'm not saying any of this in judgment. I'm saying it in thinking things through. My back hurts. Oh, I'm saying it in thinking things through that are not serving us. Okay. And yes, sometimes you just have to live in the moment. You just have to be in the moment, because guess what? Sometimes being on the merry-go-round can be magical. I'm just going to put that out there. Sometimes being on the merry-go-round can feel magical. It can feel amazing, exhilarating, right? Exciting, except for the fact that you're only going in the same circle over and over and over again. How long will you hang on for dear life to what's not benefiting you? This food for thought, I said, is fully loaded, y'all. But you keep saying yes to it. And I don't mean just you, I mean me. Like, this is my quote. This is a quote from my own notes. Okay, from my personal notes. This was me talking to me, saying, Tara, here you are again on this merry-go-round. You already got off of it once, maybe twice, maybe multiple times, because we keep repeating the same behaviors that we're used to repeating until we enter a change, until we put away that behavior and replace it with a better behavior, a better something better serving us and where we're going. We're going to deal with that. And oftentimes we don't get off the merry-go-round because we say, oh, well, there's nowhere else to go. Well, how would you know unless you get off of what's not working for you? How would you know unless you close the door on that job that you really don't want to be at, that's not taking you in the direction you want to go in your career anyway? How would you know what else is out there unless you close the door there to open up to the opportunities elsewhere? Okay. And a part of this too, being on this merry-go-round that we keep saying yes to, sometimes we're just not being honest with ourselves because we expect the situation to go wrong. We expect it to be devastating in order for it to have to end, rather than seeing that it doesn't have to have turmoil to not work for me or in my life. Okay. It doesn't have to be that. There doesn't have to be a fight for me to say, I don't want to do this anymore. Or for me to say, this is not how I want to feel. Okay. And so, all in all, here I am on this merry-go-round that I keep saying yes to being on, knowing that my time has come to an end. Y'all, it's time for seasons to change. The seasons are literally changing in real life right now. Okay. Depending on where you are. I don't know how everyone's seasons work, but in America, the season is changing. Wherever you are anyway, though, seasons change. Period. Seasons in life change, meaning that sometimes you're going to be up and sometimes you're going to be down. And so staying in the same place, remaining stagnant, and even if it's on a merry-go-round, remaining stagnant may not be the best thing for you. It is a detriment to you. There is a quote, I don't know who said it or how it actually goes, but something to the tune of, if you're not changing, you're dying. Okay. Because if you're not going forward, you're just wasting time in life. Okay. So think about that, y'all. That's our food for thought quote for today. Okay. So think about it, put some thought into it, have some conversations about it. Where am I settling for myself? Where am I settling in my own life? And what am I allowing and, constantly entertaining that I no longer wish to be a part of or participate in? Think about that as you go about your week. Okay. So our devotional time today comes from James chapter 5. Hope y'all got your Bibles. James chapter 5, and I'm going to read verses 7 through 12. Okay. And this says patience in suffering. Okay. Patience in suffering. Be patient then, brothers, until the Lord's coming. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, and how patient he is for the autumn and spring rains. You too be patient and stand firm, because the Lord's coming is near. Do not grumble against each other, brothers, or you will be judged. The judge is standing at the door. Brothers, as an example of patience in the face of suffering, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. As you know, we consider blessed those who have persevered. You have heard of Job's perseverance and have seen what the Lord finally brought about. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. Above all, my brothers, do not swear, not by heaven or by earth or by anything else. Let your yes be yes and your no, no, or you will be condemned. Okay. That's James chapter 5, verse 7 through 12. That part is titled Patience in Suffering, right? And so here I wrote, it's going to take some time. Okay. It's going to take some time. And so here it just emphasized how the former waited patiently, right? And so to me, I believe that we're all creatives of something in our lives, whether you just have a job every day, whether you create babies and raise babies, whether you are a creative in terms of entrepreneurship, creating revenue, or things like that. Okay. We all are creative in some type of way. And all of that requires patience. All of that requires time. Now, sometimes these things can create patience within us, because, when people are having children, they typically, at the beginning don't know what to expect, don't know how it's going to go. And having kids will make you more patient or show how impatient you really are. Also, persevering in suffering, patience in suffering. It's hard to wait when you have a need that's unmet. My therapist used to talk to me about Maslow's hierarchy of need. I think it's called hierarchy of needs, I believe. And excuse me. And she was just saying that if your basic needs are not met, which most people are struggling to keep their basic needs met, if your basic needs are not met, it's hard to focus on all the other things, right? And so being patient when you're suffering, when you're without, when you don't have, and you can't solve these problems, it's very tough to be patient during that time. And so sometimes we just have to endure, knowing that the season will change. And in the scripture, it just references how farmers have to wait for the spring and autumn rains to fall. I believe it said autumn. Yeah, the autumn and spring rains to fall, right? But there's still work to do. There's still work to be done. And so while you're waiting on something else to happen, start doing the work. Start to focus in on what can I do in this time? How can I help myself during this time while I'm waiting, because this waiting period sucks. This waiting period, is painful. And I'm pretty sure I'll tell y'all more about me, but even these last couple of years have been sufferable. Okay. they have been hard. Okay. But I've noticed if you go back through your life and your hard seasons, you should be able to, I hope that you're able to go back and recognize where you produced more in your life, where you became more, because these things are purposed, right? And so I'll talk more about that a little bit later, but these seasons in life are purposed, and so hopefully you can develop your patience more in these things where you're suffering, or even in, like we said, the merry-go-round. If you're on a merry-go-round, be patient with yourself, but also be diligent in trying to get your heart and mind to line up with one another, getting them to line up in one another so that what you feel in your heart and think in your mind, your body can go in that proper direction to get off the freaking merry-go-round, because you desire something more, because you are tired, you've been patient, you've been suffering, because let's be clear, if you're on a merry-go-round, you suffering if you can't get off. If you can't get off, you become sick. Okay. And so you're suffering there. So it's going to take some time, and you have to develop your patience, work your patience, but understand that you shouldn't lose your optimism, because the seasons will change. Okay. And so here I wrote, don't stop working towards it. So that's my point exactly. You have to be diligent in what you're going after. Y'all, I did life coaching for 10 years, and then God said you're not a life coach anymore. He never said your entire business that you built is done. He just said one aspect of my business was ending. Okay. And the people who know me as a life coach don't even want me to stop coaching. They're still like, can we have a meeting? Can we have a session? And I'm like, well, we're gonna have to call it something else, because God said I'm not a life coach anymore. So, we could just do a strategy business session or whatever you want to call it. However, losing that title and also having suffered, like, these years of suffering have made me, my company is known as Stalk Your Destiny. And that's because stalkers don't quit. They are relentless in their pursuit. Okay. And so with me saying stalk your destiny, the thing that you can stalk is your destiny. The one thing we give up on so much is our destiny and our purpose. And I know that right now in this generation that we live in, everybody wants things so fast and so quick. They want viral moments. They want to be bestsellers on Amazon the first 2 days or first week of their new book being out or whatever. All of that stuff is nice, but also this is the long game some of us are playing. I'm not playing the upfront accolades game. I'm playing the long game. I'm playing the legacy game. So determine which part of this you're playing, because if you're going towards your destiny, your purpose, if you're going towards the life you truly desire to live, then yeah, 10 years in the game, it's a strong foundation. Whether you made it to where you want to make it to or not, 10 years in the game is a strong foundation to stand on, because now I have a platform where people are like, well, you do it so well. Well, I've done it for so long. I've done it for so long. And I have to keep working towards where I'm going, because this is not the end. This is only the beginning. Imagine that. Imagine that 10 years of hard work, building, putting into your career, putting into your marriage, putting into your family, okay, putting into your relationships and community, right? Can you imagine 10 years of doing those things and then not hitting the level you want, but also not realizing how much more you've already done? How much more you've already done. So because of that, because of what you've put in, because of the work you've put in, all the good, and overall saying that these are good situations and healthy situations, don't stop going towards the goal that you have in mind. Don't stop going towards your destiny. Now, yes, I mentioned before, sometimes it takes unconventional ways of doing things. Sometimes it takes open-mindedness, because the way you may have been doing it may not be the way to do it, or the way this coach or that coach or this coach or that coach said do it altogether doesn't work. Okay. And because that may not be the best path for you. So don't stop going towards what you have in mind for your life. Live while you're living. Okay. I say that all the time. Live while you are living, because it is going to take some time, and stalkers don't quit. Don't give up on it. Okay. Don't stop working towards it. All of my 10 years of being, it's 11 years this month, y'all. It's 11 years this month of Stalk Your Destiny. It is I think 8 years this month of Zeal Sweet Flavored Tea, which came from Tea Time with Tarah. Okay, and so the time and the years, what shows in that is not only the dedication to my work and my community and myself and God's plans for my life, but also it's showing me the evidence and the fruit of what God wants to do through me. Okay. I don't have all these books because I just wanted to write books. I have all these books because of what God told me to produce. I don't have this show because I just wanted to hear myself speak and see me on the camera. I don't like either one. I have that because that's where God put me. Um and allowed me to be and gifted me in those areas. But there's a great big catalog of things behind me from not giving up. So don't give up on yourself and don't discount any small thing, whether the world knows about it, or whether you're the only person that knows, for you or your close friend circle. Don't stop working towards your goals. Okay. And to check out my books, y'all, to check out my books, my planners, learn more information about me, you can check out some podcasts that I've been on, some interviews that I've done over the years as well. Visit www.stalkyourdestiny.com. Okay, everything you need to know or click is there about me, unless you just Google me. But go to the website www.stalkyourdestiny.com. You can check out more information about me there. You can check out any of my books and planners there. Also, you can become a sponsor there if you'd like to as well. There are different tabs at the top. One says Tea Time with Tarah, I believe, and one says Live and On Air. So if you want to become a sponsor of this show, you can click the Live and On Air tab at the top, scroll down, and you can click the link to become a sponsor. There's also information there on how to partner with us. Also, you can always just send me a message from the website in order to figure out partnership opportunities or things like that. And so I would love to have you sponsor an ad on the show so that we can tell people in the 93 countries that we are heard in that, what you have, whether it's a product, a service, a company, an event, or if you just want to shout someone out. Okay. Feel free to sponsor an ad because that helps us continue forward with this show and reach a larger, broader audience so that we're also changing lives every time I'm on here live, and also with my other show, because that benefits Tea Time with Tarah at large. And so we are changing lives daily. So please consider becoming a sponsor of the show. Hit the link on the website, www.stalkyourdestiny.com but you can hit the tab that says Live and On Air. Okay. Now, if you say, okay, well, Tara, I love the show, I love listening in, but I don't necessarily want to sponsor an ad. However, I would like to financially support the show. Then thank you so much. First of all, thank you for showing up to the show every week anyway, because I love that you all are enjoying what I'm doing and getting something from it. Otherwise, you would not return every week as you have. So thank you so much for doing that. But if you want to donate, then you can go to www.stalkyourdestiny.com/donate, or you can simply hit the donate tab. It'll go right to the page where you can make a donation of any kind of your choosing. And all donations, again, still help with production and everything with this show so that we can continue to go forward, changing lives daily. Okay. So consider sponsoring the show, consider donating to the show, and just connect with me, y'all. You can send me messages on the website as well. And it can take you to my YouTube channel. But also don't forget to check out my books, because I don't talk about all of my books here on the show. And I don't talk about my planners or my line of accountability tools. And so that's a line of 12. And there are also a couple of journals on there as well. One journal is a 30-day journal. It's the Tea Time Daily Journal. Is 30 days of inspiration and affirmations. And so you can use that to affirm yourself and be inspired for 30 days, at least. And those are on the website as well. Again, that's www.stalkyourdestiny.com. Okay, y'all? Our business topic of the week is brought to you by Zeal Sweet Flavored Tea. Made with Love. Okay. And I told y'all Zeal celebrates its 8th year anniversary. I believe 8. We started in 2018 as a demand from the Tea Time with Tara in-person gathering where I made food and tea. And it was a free gathering. And so then I started Zeal Sweet Flavored Tea from there because the demand for taking home whatever was left over was high. And so now I have it to where people can order it. You can check that out on the website too. Just if you're curious about, well, what did you make? It's on the website. You can check that out at your leisure. Okay. So our business topic of the week this week is it had to happen. It had to happen. Okay. And so the funny thing is, it had to happen. This all comes together. I told y'all, I love how God brings this all full circle with the food for thought quote and sometimes wrapping in the devotionals too. And so it had to happen. So that's suffering. Mm, that's suffering time. Y'all just made it. Have you ever, I don't know about you parents out there, but have you ever you've been talking and you make a face or a sound that your children's make? I just did that. I just find that funny. I just caught myself. I made a sound and a face my youngest son makes. But um suffering, right? It had to happen. It had to happen, right? So with wherever you are in your life right now, I'm sure that we've all had journeys, and we can even go as far back as people have been talking about the year 2020, the year of COVID, you know, taking place and the world pretty much shutting down, all of our lives changing as we knew it, to now, right? And so it had to happen. So, and I don't mean that COVID had to happen. I'm not saying it. The business topic of the week is it had to happen. And sometimes things happen, many times. Things happen that are out of our hands, out of our control. And it's just life, right? Life happens. We don't choose to suffer. We don't choose the pain and agony of things not going our way. We don't choose bad relationships intentionally just to be treated horribly. We don't do that. And so saying it had to happen is also saying that all things work together, that seasons will change, right? And so, and it's going to take time, right? And so here I wrote, do what must be done. And that's like getting off of the merry-go-round, like being in a situation as long as you are. And I'm going to speak personally. I'm trying to pull it into how I can say this personally. I spent years in a situation with someone, and that person asked me all the time, have you had enough? All the time. And I think that it's amazing to even be asked that question, because then you literally have to think, have I had enough? Because we don't know our toxic meters. How much toxicity can you take? How much dysfunction can you take? Or even how much good can you take? Some people walk away from goodness because it's too much for them, right? And so you don't know how much you can take until you ask the question. Have you had enough? Is this enough? Tell me when to stop, right? Like, when you're getting like cheese on your salad and stuff, they're like, tell me when to stop, okay? Or cheese on your pastas or whatever. They'll tell me when to stop. You don't know it's enough until it's enough. You don't know you've had enough until you've had enough, right? And so even with that, you're still suffering through. Like, my thing was, I can handle it. I can deal with it. I'm okay. I'm dealing with it. Totally disregarding myself, right? And then even in the times where I wasn't disregarding myself, I was in conflict with myself. Okay. And we get into those state of being because we're not honoring ourselves. We get into those states of being because we want to be on the merry-go-round. We're so used to the BS behaviors that we're like, oh, it's okay here. I'm not going to die. I might hold on for dear life, but I'm not going to die here. Right. I'll be fine. And that's the lie we tell ourselves. And so when that person saying, have you had enough? Have you had enough? It comes to a point where you have to, what I wrote here is do what must be done, right? Do what must be done. So it comes to a point where you have to do what must be done in your life. Yeah, some situations happened, and you have to do what must be done. And so with me saying it had to happen is this. I had to go through those years of being on that merry-go-round just like you may have had to go through your years of suffering or toxicity or things that are just not working for you, dysfunction, or, just things that did not cause you joy and happiness, right? Um, or bring you joy and happiness. And when we look back, because they say hindsight is 2020, okay? So when you look back on it, they say things are either lessons or blessings, and they can be both, because if you get a lesson out of it, that is the blessing. That is the blessing. And so doing what must be done in that time, right? And so in the 4 years, for me, just using that as the example, in the years that I was in that situation and being asked, have you had enough? Doing what must be done was me wrestling with me. It was me trying to find a space where this could exist and I could exist. It was trying to find meaning, like, what is the purpose of being here? Where is this going? What am I doing? Is this what I want for myself? And y'all, I think that we really don't question ourselves enough, so that when other people question us, we kind of can go along with what they say, rather than saying, I hear you, but I don't want that for myself. Everything does not have to be a shouting match. Um, Most of the time, and I say this a lot, sit at the foot of understanding. I can understand you and still not desire that for my own life. And I think that we all have to learn, in order to do what must be done. We all have to learn how to allow those things to be okay. That I hear you, and I understand that this is how you want things to go in your life, but I don't want that for my own life. And so, because of that, like, it's like Shark Tank. Because of these reasons, I'm out. Okay? I'm out. There are not many people that can compartmentalize and switch dynamics of situations with people and still remain. Okay? There are not many people. I can do it, but I recognize that there are not many people who can sit in a dynamic switch and still be like, I'm still here. We're just at a different capacity. We're in a different dimension here with one another. We interact differently now. Okay? So you still have to do what needs to be done in order to honor you, but understand that that situation had to happen because you had to learn the lessons in it and be blessed by those lessons, because that shapes you. Whether it's drama, dysfunction, all these different things, it shapes you because now you have these experiences to process. Did I like how I handled that? Did I like how I was handled in that situation? Okay, or not? What do I want to do differently going forward? Or what do I need to feel in order to be X, Y, and Z? Yes, I'm speaking very general, because this can apply in so many different areas of your life. Okay, so it's time out for excuses, because you get to make the choice every day. Am I going to get on this damn merry-go-round again or not? Am I going to keep going back to this thing that's making me crazy, making me nauseous, making me sick? Do I like feeling sick? Am I toxic? Am I toxic? Do I like putting myself through hell? Is that my process? Okay. No more excuses. Is that my process? Because again, it had to happen, right? So what are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of it? No more excuses. These are choices, y'all. We are making choices every day. What are you getting out of it? And are you okay with that? And while you're doing that, are you doing what must be done for you? Are you honoring yourself? Okay? Are you honoring yourself? And here I wrote down, you're the problem. It had to happen because you are the problem, because this is where we get to see our toxic layers. This is where we get to see where the dysfunction we may have experienced in childhood, the dysfunction we may have experienced in our relationships and our marriages and our siblings, situations on our jobs, all of these different things are things we're comfortable with. Mm, yeah, that's a hard one to sit with. Why are you so comfortable there? Why are you so okay with turmoil in and around your life? Why are you opening the door for chaos all the time in your own life? We literally get dressed and run to it. There's this reel I saw on Instagram, and this girl says, She said, I'm paraphrasing it, okay? She said, men will be like, get dressed, I'm taking you for granted. But we literally get dressed to take ourselves for granted every single day that we make a choice to get on a merry-go-round that's going nowhere. But guess what? We have to suffer through it because it was our choice. Because you have to admit to yourself that you are toxic, that you have toxic ways, that you make toxic choices, that you like it because it's comfortable. And it's comfortable because it's familiar. Most times we stay in those type of situations, whether at work, in relationships, in friendships. Most of the time we stay in those situations because we know how to deal with it. We know how to navigate it. I used to say all the time, like, I can handle it. But then I used to say to myself, just because I can handle it doesn't mean I deserve it. Just because I can handle it doesn't mean I desire it. That doesn't mean that. So then, if I don't desire it and I don't deserve it, why do I keep going for the thrill? The thrill of something that's hurting me. And don't get me wrong, y'all, it can be hard to change those behaviors. It's definitely a process, like patience and suffering, right? Sometimes you're suffering because you're trying to get away from it. It can be tough to pull away from it because, again, there are layers there. And we have to peel back the layers and keep them back, right? You don't want to peel back a layer and put it right back on, which we can all be guilty of. I'm guilty of that. Okay. Peeling back layers and putting it right back on, like, no, give me that back. I want that back, because it's hard to detach from something you conformed to. And even in life situations, sometimes you get okay in a place that was supposed to be for a moment. This is not where you settle. This is where you stop and take a breather for a moment, for a season, right? Don't get used to being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And that's what happens. The longer you're in an uncomfortable situation, the more it becomes comfort to you because you're navigating it literally every day. And unless you remind yourself, this is not what I desire. This is not what I want. This does not bring me happiness or joy, right? Then you're the problem in that, You're the problem. And sometimes we can be the problem because we're kicking and screaming in the place that God put us. And I told y'all, I kicked and screamed in the place that God put me. Sometimes I still do because there are going to be things you don't like, okay? And sometimes I still do kick and scream. But I understand that everything had to come full circle. Now, I brought up 2020, y'all, and I'm going to go back to this a little bit. I brought up 2020, but I've mentioned before on this show, and I'm going to just mention it again today. If you, first of all, write your thoughts down. Write your thoughts down, keep them in a journal, keep them in a notebook or whatever. Write it down. When you feel like God is speaking to you, write it down so that you can. Habakkuk 2:3, I believe, says, write the vision. He said, I issued my complaints. First of all, I issued my complaints and then I waited to see what the Lord would say. And the Lord responded, write the vision and make it plain so that the heralds can run with it, right? And though it tarry, wait for it, okay? And I don't even know if that's the same scripture. I might be putting two together at this point. I know he said, write the vision and make it plain, right? So that the heralds may run with it. I think on the end of that, it also says, though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come to pass, right? Because there is a time and a season for everything, y'all. Okay. And so with that, you have to go back. If you've already been using journals and things, go back through your notebooks and see what God has said to you, because God is bringing things in this season full circle. That thing that was delayed, like I had the passport paid for in 2021, 5 years ago. Someone paid for it. Guess what? The money got messed up in something that was out of my control. That money was taken by a mistake made, not on my part, but it was gone. Now I'm getting my passport. Now I've gotten my passport. Okay. That was a 5-year delay. Who wants to wait 5 years on something that was paid for 5 years ago? It was paid for 5 years ago. But guess what? It had to happen because over the last 5 years, there was no way Tara was going out the country. There was no way that that type of travel or leisure or mindset would have even been able to take place and be enjoyable because of everything that was going on in life. And if we go back further, go back to some of your childhood things. God has taken me on a trip in the last week, okay? Because I didn't know I was going to talk about last week with this topic, but God is bringing things full circle in your life. Take inventory, okay, of where you've been in your life and where you are now and where you're going. Take inventory of that, okay? Because if God spoke a thing then and it has not come to pass, be mindful that his word doesn't expire. Be mindful that he can speak a word years ago, lead you back to it today, and mean it for tomorrow. I'm going to say that again. God can take you to a word years ago, bring it back to you today, and make it go forward tomorrow. Okay? Everything's coming full circle. When farmers plant, they did that months ago. They put that in the ground months ago. Then what they have to do? Toil and work the land and wait. Toil, work the land, and wait. And at the right time, it happened. Or like the bamboo tree. Okay? You may be in a bamboo season of life. I don't know. Okay? But like the bamboo tree, it grows underground for 5 years. The roots stretch out. They grow deep and wide. Okay? For a bamboo tree. Meaning that they are growing in the dark. Nobody sees anything of a bamboo tree for 5 years. It's growing downward, being grounded. Think about your life, how you may have been hidden or grounded or moved around the enemy. These things had to happen for where God is taking you. Okay? These things had to happen. And so after that, I think it grows full grown in 6 weeks. The bamboo tree. 6 weeks. Can you imagine doing all of the work in the dark in your life, doing the internal work, becoming a better person, becoming more knowledgeable about the things that you love, becoming more open-minded to the world around you and at hand? Can you imagine taking 5 years to do that? And not because you chose to, but because life just happened in a way that while you were suffering, you were growing. Y'all ever heard of growing pains? That's a real thing. Growing pains. It doesn't mean that you're growing the way you want to grow. Like, oh, I just want to be tall, slim, beautiful, model-esque, and whatever. That doesn't mean that that's what happened. So I want it to be so beautiful. No, it's not. Our delusions are not going to be fed here. Our delusions will not be fed here. But it's suffering. It's long. Like, can you really imagine growing a foundation, standing on a platform, and nobody knows your name? Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are. And I don't mean in terms of like social media and things. I mean in your own life, doing what you feel like you are purposed to do, being at work and being overlooked, being in a marriage and being underappreciated, being a parent and not getting any type of regard or respect, being a child, a gifted child, and being overlooked or bullied. Can you imagine all the things that you have to suffer through while you are growing? God is building your character, your tenacity, your mindset, shaping you, only for you to be these powerful adults, only for you to be these powerful human beings, or just at the right time, you are the perfect person to be blessed, or you're the perfect person to bless these others or be a part of whatever. Because again, y'all, we're many members in one body. It comes together. It comes together, right? It had to happen. Sometimes things have to happen, again, for God to take you around the enemy, for God to hide you, for God to move you in a way that something won't hurt you, block you, from that. Like, yeah, you're gonna endure some pain and suffering over here, but I blocked you from dying over here. Okay. So can you imagine that? The things that you have gone through in your life have a purpose attached to them. Whether they shaped you, whether they changed you, whether they hurt you, which would change your mindset, your emotions, and how you look at things, or open you up, hopefully. Or even if they caused you to be closed minded, then later consider therapy. Or later, just keep talking about it until you're able to help yourself and someone else, right? Relate to others. It had to happen. We are many members in one body, so we're here to help one another. Nothing that you're going through is for you by yourself. Everything that you've gone through is for somebody else. It's for somebody else, but also it had to happen in the regard that it's going to come full circle. Okay. And when God says, write the vision and make it plain, and the heralds will run with it, that's all about preparation. So while you're suffering and all that, please be prepared for what you're seeking and hoping for. Please be prepared for what God planted in your heart, that desire, y'all. I've done so much work behind the scenes. Y'all see me come on here on Mondays, and I say I got 10 years behind me of this stuff and more for Tea Time with Tarah, more than 10 years for Tea Time with Tarah goes all the way back to my life in Louisiana. That's about 20 years ago. That is 20 years ago. 20 years ago is when I was Tea Time with Tarah, unofficially. Okay? You have no idea. You have no idea what God is building and making of you. You have no idea how God is going to use you and when your time comes up. So do the work, accept what was, and move to what is. Okay? Accept what was and move forward to what, move into what is now, but also keep your mind and eyes on what's to come. And again, consult God on his word and say, God, I know you told me that X, Y, and Z was going to take place. When is it happening? Is it happening? Don't give up hope for the things you believe God for. Don't give up hope for those things, but understand that you have to be a particular type of person in the right place at the right time as God moves you, right? And so keep going forward. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, y'all, because God is bringing it full circle. Like I say in Stalk Your Destiny, everything you want to become, you already are. Don't forget about the child inside of you. Don't forget that sometimes the things you suffered through are the very things you have to speak up for now. Don't forget that sometimes you may have suffered as a child so that you can protect children now. Okay, it's time to get up and stand in your purpose. It's time to get up and stand in your destiny. The pain and suffering had to happen to shape you, to mold you, to direct you, okay, and to move you into right position for your tomorrow. Okay, y'all, nothing is lost. Nothing is lost, and nothing is for naught. It had to happen. It had to happen. Okay. So that is our show for today. I'm gonna go over this recap really quick. Not really quick. I don't know why we say really quick when we just do it. It takes as long as it takes. Okay. Let me give you the recap for this week. All right. Our affirmations for today are I am light and love. So be sure that you choose daily to walk in the light of the Lord. Be sure daily that you choose to walk in love. Choose love every day at all terms, y'all, at all costs. Okay. I have prepared for a win. Okay. I said at the beginning, now we're coming back. I said it's full circle. I have prepared for a win. If an opportunity to sell comes, I'm ready. I've prepared. If an opportunity to speak comes, I'm ready. I'm prepared. If an opportunity for promotion comes at your job, be ready. Be prepared. If an opportunity for love comes, get your heart ready. Get your heart and mind ready. Be prepared for a healthy relationship with family, with friends, with coworkers, with your partner. Okay? Prepared for a win. I will reap a harvest in its season. Okay? We're talking about farmers the whole time. I will reap a harvest in its season. Here's the thing, y'all. You have to be sure that you have the capacity to hold the weight of the harvest you desire. If you need infrastructure in place, if you need systems in place, if you need a home in place, if you need a loan in place, if you need your credit in place, if you need your mind in place, right? If you need to take care of what takes care of you, that means clean your house, clean your car, wash your clothes, care for your things, tend to your children, tend to your friends and family. Okay? Be prepared to have the capacity to carry the weight that comes with reaping the harvest you desire. Don't ask for a whole bunch of money. You don't have financial literacy. You don't know what financial opportunities you have afforded to you. Don't ask to reap a financial harvest and you don't know the difference in the tax brackets. You have not consulted a CPA. You have not consulted an accountant. You have no idea about how to avoid paying taxes in different ways. You have no idea how to invest that money so that it can continue to grow and become a perennial stream. If you don't know these words I'm even saying, look them up. I'm saying these things so that whomever is watching, if you are wanting to reap a harvest, ask God to give you the capacity to carry the weight of the thing for which you desire, which means what? Building, breaking, and building. Because learning new things is not always easy. We don't always want it. Okay? Doing new things is not always easy. Most of us are stubborn. But you want the harvest. You want a financial windfall. You want the blessing of love that you can't even love back. Be ready for the build, break, build process. Okay? I will reap a harvest in this season is the affirmation. And I'm just going to add to it. I have the capacity to hold the weight for the harvest that I desire. All right? And today will be a magical day, y'all. If you believe in miracles, signs, and wonders, look for them. Do not overlook them. It can be the smallest thing. It could be a person that's dead wrong all the time, doing the wrong things, saying today, you know, I realized something about myself. And they could just say one thing negative about themselves that they realize. That's a miracle. You finally see you. Oh my God. Celebrate that. That's magical. Okay? Today will be a magical day. Our devotional for today was James chapter 5, verse 7 through 12, which talked about patience in suffering, which I mentioned a lot. And our business topic of the week this week was it had to happen. So if you want to go back and watch this, if you need, go have pointers or whatever, you want to share this with somebody, y'all, head over to the YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button there, but share this with someone. Okay? Come back to it. Write notes. Think about all the questions that I asked. Okay? And again, consider becoming a sponsor. Consider donating to the show so that we can continue to encourage you and reach more people across the world. Okay? You can do that at www.stalkyourdestiny.com. Okay? Stalkyourdestiny.com. This has been Tea Time with Tarah, live and on air. I'm your host, Tarah M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership, y'all. Here we discuss business and Bible basics. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Again, head over to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Be sure to check out my newest episode of the Tea Time with Tarah show, where I interviewed Stanley K. Harvey on the show and asked him what he needed on his journey to stalking his destiny, as I ask all my other guests. Again, we're here every Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hope that you like the video. Share it with someone. Join me back here next Monday. And until then, y'all, have a beautiful day and a beautiful week. Bye.
I'm staying chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna bring. I'm making that down, but I won't lose ground. 'Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny.
I'm still stuck in my destiny.
destiny.
Every time it's on everything, alive, you cheesing, I'm cheddering. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gon' stop till I rest in peace and they put a hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual van where my strength get pumped from. So let's go back to the child of God. Standing toe to toe, hot now. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want out of high. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength is having, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game, so speed like the A train. The thing that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. All by myself, I don't gang bang. When you wanna get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that I would chest it.